Gambia's Interior Minister Yahya Jammeh has admitted that the crime rate in the country is worrying and needs heightened response. Minister Sonko also called for the prosecution of 2 Chinese nationals who allegedly stabbed one another in a so-called robbery. The 2 are said to have stolen over $3 million from their employer. Mafuji Sise has the details in this report.
The rate of reported murder cases continued to surge in the Gambia since President Barrow came into office in 2017, with cases reporting almost every day. But Minister Yahya Jammeh insisted that the crime rate is downsizing.
My office hereby informed the general public that the crime rate in the country has witnessed a slight decrease, about 15% in number of cases reported for the first and second quarter of 2021 and 2022 as per our quarterly crime reports. I just want to discuss that a bit. When this issue came up, the question was, why am I talking about the decrease in crime when we have got recent incidents of murder and so forth? I just said this. We are referring to our crime statistics. It has nothing to do with the particular incidents that happened recently, because those covered a particular short period of time that we saw those gruesome actions that violated our people's lives, and people unfortunately lost their lives. But when we talk, we have to talk about incidents as well as how they relate to what was happening before, and then we conclude to say whether or not it shows an increase in crime trends or not.
Drug abuse is high on the increase in the country, with many young people abusing them. The Gambia recorded 3 tons of cocaine seized from the Gambia Ports Authority in 2021. Just recently, the Drug Law Enforcement Agency announced seizure of 734 blocks of suspected cocaine. Minister Sonko has this to say.
Generally, there is often a correlation on drug abuse and upsurge in crime. To this end, there is a general notion that some of these crimes recorded happen under the influence of illicit drugs and other forms of intoxication. For instance, we always talk about drugs, but we forget to mention about alcohol. There are reports around that young children are going around buying alcoholic beverages and spiking them. When that happens, it causes problems. Yes, drugs related, but alcohol also is a concern.
Commissioner Sar takes on the crimes. He said many of the crimes reported are almost fake.
Most of these crimes that are also reported, we've discovered that are fake or staged crimes. We've all heard about these 2 Chinese nationals that have been carried in social media that they've been killed here and there, which is not true. In fact, it's a staged crime. There was nothing like that. They stole money, but they're working for somebody. They mismanaged, they stole some part of the money and decided to stage as if they were robbed. Not only that, we have cases of that nature. We have some of these bureau de change, foreign exchange bureaus involved in such. We have, as for this 2022, we have 4 of that kind. And 2 of these are female who are working those bureaus, stealing monies, and at the end of the day, they will run to the police to say, they're not robbed. Or they broke my bureau and some money, which is never the case.
Porous borders are always the blame game brought forward by the immigration authorities. But how are they doing to put an end to this is not the story in Senegal, which bordered the Gambia in all 3 directions. Commissioner Mamanding S. Diba has this to say.
Yes, we will admit that we have people entering into the country in an irregular fashion, circumventing security checks at the borders. The fact of the matter is that this is an open secret that the Gambia is having a lot of porous entry points. We have official entry points, but virtually along the borders with our neighbors, almost every part is a potential entry point. The Department of Immigration is doing everything that we can to make sure that we take care of these things. And in fact, I think we are doing very well in that end. Not long ago, we have come into contact with about 69 kids, who later were identified to be Senegalese.
There is a rise in prostitution, crime, rate, and traffic accidents on the Smiling Coast. Who is to blame? Police Assistant Inspector General Landing Bojang has more.
Now, you go to in town, people, Gambians, building their compounds, renting is to teenagers, young kids, 14, 16, 17-year-old young Gambians. Girls come from Brikama, come from Sukuta, come from Busumbana, everywhere. Kids hiring a compound because they are paying him or her the money. And he, that person holding that compound, is having a family too. So this is supposed to be a combination. Everybody must have to come on board. We battle against these crimes happening. I agree with you. You can see what is happening.
For Eyeafrica News, I am Afoyi Sise.